go. Hello for anyone catching the replay. I'm just about to get started. Just wanted to try and burn some Ponto Solo this morning. Thank you for joining me today. We'll get started in about 3 more minutes. So if you're just joining the replay, feel free to fast forward a couple minutes until we get started. There we go. It smells good. Hello and welcome everyone. Just going to give it a few more minutes before I start. Just got some Ponto Solo burning. Just doing a bit of a clearing on the room. Feel free to let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Let me know how you're feeling today. I'm going to check in with everybody this morning, make sure we're all feeling okay, doing well. I'm having some chamomile and lavender tea this morning because I need it. The energy has been crazy for a few days now. All right, 1 more minute till showtime. Good. Okay, it's 11 a.m. I'm just going to give it 1 more minute before we start. But to get settled in, what I'd like us to do is take a few deep breaths together. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Christina. If you guys could give me just a thumbs up or a yes in the chat to let me know if you can hear me okay, if the volume's okay. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. So to start, welcome, welcome. Feel free to let me know how you're doing this morning. Awesome, thanks, Cheryl. There's been a lot of crazy energy and I really wanted to check in with everybody. 5 planets went into retrograde on Friday and I personally have spent my weekend so far very emotional, very tired. It's been a crazy last couple of days. So hopefully we can really channel some good Reiki for you today as you listen in, give you some good tips and some things to practice if you're feeling super out of whack, because I know that I am. Okay, 11:01, let's get started. I'll let people join as they come, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing my screen so you can see my PowerPoint. Perfect, alrighty, so welcome, welcome. This is my very first webinar. I'm super excited. So thank you for joining me today. I wanted to really do a deep dive into what is Reiki and how to take your healing deeper. This is something that when I work with Reiki clients, I'm really curious to see if we can take your session deeper and deeper and deeper each time, that we can do a lot of transforming so that it's not just relaxation, it's not just calm. Well, those are really great things. As we go through this webinar, I hope that you really learn that Reiki can be taken to such an intense level. It can be a really, really deep healing modality, and I'm very excited to share this with you. If you have any questions as we go, feel free to leave them in the chats. We will have time for Q&A after. This is about 45 minutes long, maybe 50, and then I do some Q&A at the end. So feel free to keep me posted with any questions or comments, or if you have any trouble hearing me, things like that. Feel free to raise a hand, put it in the chat, let me know. I will try and take a break every now and then to give you some time to drink some water, go to the bathroom, things like that. And this is also being recorded. So if anybody misses the replay, you want to share this with anybody, feel free just to message me and we can get the link to them. So what's on the agenda for today? Today, we are going to talk about what is Reiki, a little bit of the history. We're going to go into the chakra system. I'll give you some facts and some common symptoms about the chakras, what Reiki feels like, how to take your healing deeper, and as promised, some freebies. I'm excited to share so many of these things with you guys. It's going to be a really good time. Okay, so you might be here if you've tried Reiki but wish it could do more for you. You have felt called to healing and personal growth. You are curious about alternative healing. Western medicine has let you down. I know this was me a few years ago, which I'll talk about shortly. Alternative healing is really starting to awaken in a lot of people's consciousness because the usual way of doing things just might not be working anymore. And you have tried many different things to heal, but found limited success. This was also me before I found Reiki. So a little bit about me, for those of us who don't know each other. My name is Jenine. I have always been connected to spirit. As a child, I used to talk to Jesus and my angels. I grew up on a farm outside of a small town in Saskatchewan in Canada. And I just always was connected. I just thought that was normal. I talked to rocks. I talked to my animals. I, felt the trees. I felt the sky. I felt the earth. And I thought that was normal. And as I was raised Roman Catholic, and as I grew up, I learned that other people didn't talk to Jesus. And I started to really feel awkward at church. I started to feel like I was repressing myself, trying to fit in. And at the age of 13, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is a disease of the large intestine or your colon. And it nearly killed me. In a very short span of time, I was healthy, and then I was not. 3 life-saving surgeries later, I live without a colon, and a few years later, I was diagnosed with depression. A few years after that, anxiety. A few years after that, CPTSD. And all of this I had never treated from an energy perspective. So this is how I found Reiki. My anxiety was completely ruling my life. I had been seeing my naturopath. I had been seeing doctors and my specialists, and my naturopath actually finally suggested Reiki. She knew I was quite a spiritual person. We often talked about energy or how the body functioned, and she suggested Reiki. And so here I am. I had a Reiki session years and years and years ago, and I had just dropped the practice. I had gotten to university, got busy, did the struggle through college like everyone else, and I came out very ill, very burnt out, and very anxious. So I was happy to try anything at that point, and Reiki was what was suggested. After that first Reiki session, I did not have anxiety for 3 months. It was truly a transformative experience for me. I suddenly was okay, and I had to learn to live with being okay again. I had to learn that my anxiety was coming from all of these messages in my body that I just wasn't listening to. I was ignoring them. There was a lot of toxic people in my life, a lot of toxic relationships, a lot of toxic food and products and energy around me. I had repressed myself so deeply that my body was just shouting to get out. And I always like to say my divine likes to hit me upside the head with a frying pan to get my attention. And that's kind of what starts to happen in the body. We start to get really backed up with a lot of symptoms. So here I am now. How I feel now. My anxiety is minimal. Depression comes and goes, but I react with love instead of this deep numbness. I'm managing my trauma responses with ease, focusing on my trauma for the last 6 months. Now I am able to sit with it, to be with myself, and to just really be present with myself, which is something I don't believe I've ever had. So it's really exciting to feel it. And I know that I'm supported by my divine. I'm in contact with my divine daily. I get to feel connection, and it's just a really great place from how far I've come. So why I do what I do? I want to help you feel supported too. I know what it's like to go through all of these challenges very alone, very unsupported, very reliant on Western medicine. I want to be your cheerleader. I know what it's like to be without support again, and it's so beneficial to have that one person in your life that is steadfast, that you know is going to be there. That can really make all the difference. I channel so many messages in a day as well. Energy is constantly flowing through me. So I really have so many messages for the people that I meet, the people I interact with, and I love what I do because your divine loves you so much. So everything that I feel is just deep love, deep love for you. And I just want to communicate it. I want to share it because your divine is your absolute cheerleader. I was controlled by fear, anxiety, and conflict avoidance. Reiki has changed my life and has helped me to live a more calm, vulnerable, joyful existence. Vulnerable here is a really big word as well. We really start to lose track of our emotions sometimes. Life gets in the way. We start to become very closed and cagey and unresponsive. And we are products of our environment. It happens. I've been there too. Someone had once told me, you are not your own fault. And I loved that. We are byproducts of our environment, of our upbringing, of our families. But learning to live a more vulnerable life really allows us to feel deeper, to be more loved, to feel more support. I want to help other women feel the same through one-on-one support, Reiki healing, and divine guidance. So that's a little bit about me. Simply put, I do this because we're worth it. Sometimes we forget that. We are absolutely worthy of healing. It is our birthright. It is our birthright to live a joyful, beautiful existence. And sometimes we just forget that. So, what exactly is Reiki that I've been talking about? Reiki is a Japanese healing technique, originally from the early 1900s. It became well known in Western civilization after the 1980s when a woman that trained under Dr. Usui is the founder of Reiki. He trained students, I do believe it was only about 16. And that's why there's such a gap between Reiki being born to Reiki actually hitting us over here in America. There was a very big gap because the founder of Reiki only trained a minimal number of students. And one of them happened to be this wonderful woman from Hawaii. And she asked to bring Reiki back to Hawaii. And from there, it spread to the US and then to Canada and North and South America. And we have known about it since then. But Reiki has actually been around for quite a while. Reiki is based on universal life, energy. Rei means universal life, Ki means energy. The principle of Reiki is that everything is energy. Our body is energy, our tables are energy, our minds are energy, our walls are energy. Everything is made of energy and it's always moving, which I'll get to in a little bit. But first I wanted to make sure I include here some common Reiki terms. I'll be talking about these as we go. So just so you know, when I say divine, I mean God, universe, source, spirit. It's interchangeable to me. Like I said, I was raised Roman Catholic, so I know the divine is God most times, but some people call it universe or source. The word God can be a little triggering, so we use the word divine. If I use them interchangeably, that's what we're talking about. A higher power that is here to help us on earth. Our chakras are the 7 energy points in our body. We'll talk about those in a few slides as well. There are actually more than 7 chakras, but just for today, we're going to talk about the main 7, some of the very common symptoms and things. So when I talk about energy being out of balance in the chakras, think about the chakras as kind of a scale. So we've got 7 scales in our body and one big overall scale. So when a chakra is out of balance, it's really that the energy is out of balance. So it's one side of the scale is tipped. Things aren't in alignment anymore. So say if you have crown chakra out of balance or out of alignment or overactive or underactive, we're talking about the energy of the chakra isn't balanced, which then overall unbalances the rest of the body. So something to keep in mind. An energy center, if I use that term as well, I'm also talking about a chakra. Each of the chakras resides in an area of our body, and it's sometimes called an energy center because it's kind of like a hub for the energy. And chakras are often thought of as balls of energy with different colors. So if we say energy center, again, we're talking about the chakra system. So a little bit about energy and balance. Again, everything is energy. When we can start to shift our focus away from I am sick and I need a diagnosis and I need a pill, it can really bring a lot of awareness. Everything is energy. Energy communicates, energy is always moving, and sometimes energy gets unbalanced. So instead of looking at ourselves as things that are broken and wrong and need to be fixed, and here's a pill to fix the symptoms because there's something wrong with you, we can just start to be very gentle with ourselves and say, sometimes I get out of balance. Sometimes I need to just center myself again and get things back in alignment. That's a lot gentler than this is wrong in your body, it needs to be removed, it needs to be fixed. Those are very judgmental words that really get stuck in our head. So what can we do with energy? We can add energy or remove excess energy. Reiki balances the chakras by adding or removing energy to realign your energy and to allow proper functioning of mind, body, and spirit. Reiki doesn't just work on the body, it works on your emotions, your thoughts, as well as your spiritual side, as well as that connection to your divine and your higher power. When we add or remove excess energy, we cannot destroy energy. That's a principle of Reiki. Energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be inserted or removed. It's like it's recycled throughout the universe. So when we have a lot of anxiety, that's often too much energy. So we need to remove some of the excess energy. Or if we have, if we're very fatigued, if we're very sluggish, then maybe we need to add more energy. So energy is kind of like recycling. We can't create or destroy it. We recycle it. We let it flow through us, and that's what Reiki helps do, is realign and allow some flow. So the chakra system, what exactly are our chakras? I section our 7 chakras into 3 groups. The first one is the higher chakra. And just like with Reiki, I always start at the crown, which is the top of your head. But just so you know, the chakra, if you do a Google search, oftentimes they're numbered 1 through 7 from the very bottom of your feet to the top of your head. So the crown chakra is actually number 7. It's our 7th chakra. But because I start with it first in Reiki, I wanted to start with it here first today. So the crown chakra is at the top of our head. It's purple in color, so that's often the color I will visually see above your head, or white or gold if your divine is really connecting in with you. And it's all about connection. Some people think that the crown chakra, we like to label that one as, your connection with the divine, your spirituality. But I also believe that, having worked with clients, that the crown chakra is representative of our connection with others, connection with ourself, connection with our higher self, feelings of support and community. I believe these also reside in the crown chakra. Oftentimes, if people are feeling migraines or tension or having kind of a block of some sort at the very crown of their head, it's because they don't have a support system. So things like this is why I wanted to talk about the chakras today, because sometimes Google searches don't go deep enough. Third eye chakra. This is your sixth chakra. It is located in between your eyebrows. It's indigo in color, and this is all about your intuition, your gut feelings, trusting yourself, visualizing. This is one of the centers for creativity. There are other in the bodies that we'll talk about. The throat chakra, located in your throat. It's blue in color and is all about communication. And when I say all about communication, I do mean in all sides. I believe that the throat chakra is not only about communicating well, but feeling heard. Feeling heard, feeling understood, because your throat is very closely connected to your ears. So I really see those body parts as being matched. It's not just about what you're communicating, it's also that you're being heard and received. The next chakra is our heart chakra. I call this puppy the gateway chakra. We have 3 higher chakras, which we just talked about, and we have 3 lower chakras. They're called the base chakras. And our heart sits right in the middle. Our heart is right in the center of our chest. It can be green or pink in color, and it's all about love and emotion, feelings. And this is really I almost think of it like as a flap or a valve. If you are feeling very overactive in your higher chakras, we need to balance the energy all the way down to your feet, but the heart is in the middle of that. So if you're feeling very unbalanced, we generally have to work on the heart to some degree, which is why understanding our emotions and being emotionally aware is so important, because the energy has to flow through the heart. And the heart has to be in alignment as well. So we can't just focus on feeling safe and grounded or feeling very spiritually connected and very divine. We have to let the whole body flow. The lower chakras. So to start with, solar plexus is in our abdomen. It's yellow in color and is all about self-confidence. This is our center for self-identity. The sacral chakra is located below the belly button. It's orange in color and is typically known for the space of creation. This is also another space for creativity, because this is where ideas can be born. This is where our children are born, where we were created. So it can be a very creative space to tap into. And it's especially important in women. This is where we can hold a lot of trauma in our body. This is where we can hold a lot of excess energy, because our uterus is kind of a lovely little space to store anything we don't want. And we don't do it with intention, but this is just generational trauma that tends to be stored in our uterus, and we can work on seeing with love and acceptance and releasing that. The root chakra is located from the base of your spine all the way down to your feet. So this includes like your hip joint, your knee, your thighs, your ankle, your feet. It's red in color, very like deep, like blood red. It's a very beautiful color. And it's all about safety and grounding. These are our most basic desires. So shelter, food, just general safety. It's a very, if your root chakra is not balanced, typically everything else in your body feels ungrounded. You don't feel safe. It starts to affect other chakras. So I wanted to give you some examples of balanced versus imbalanced chakras. So what does this look like when a chakra is doing well, and what does it feel like when it's not doing so well? So the crown chakra, if you're balanced, you're feeling aware, potentially enlightened, you're feeling a lot of high vibrations, a lot of buzzing and tingling. If it's unbalanced or imbalanced, you might feel numbness or disconnection. The third eye, all about creativity and inspiration, or if it's imbalanced, you might be feeling very blocked creatively. You might be having trouble getting projects done. You might be feeling very untrusting or wary towards people. And your throat chakra is all about expression, being heard. When it's balanced, you feel good about the communication that's happening in your life. When it's imbalanced, you might be struggling, feeling like you're not heard. Fear of voicing your concerns and opinions might be coming up. The heart chakra, when it's balanced, you feel loved, fulfilled. Life just feels good when your heart chakra is balanced. When it's imbalanced, we can feel a lack of love, like a numbness, and a lot of heaviness in our chest. The heart chakra is where we store grief. It's in our lungs from an energy perspective. So we can feel a lot of heaviness in our chest if it's unbalanced. Our solar plexus, when we are happy and confident and self-reliant, we are balanced. When we're imbalanced, we might be feeling a lack of self-trust, a lack of self-worth. Our self-esteem might feel kind of crappy that day. Sacral chakra is all about, again, creative and vibrant. When you are balanced, you are feeling sexy and amazing, and the energy of the sacral chakra is so yummy. When it's out of balance, it can be very dull and numb. We can feel very repressed. The root chakra, when it's balanced, we are safe, we are grounded, we are secure. When it's imbalanced, we're feeling insecure, fearful, or afraid. So if you guys want to hop in the chat right now, I would love to know, what is one chakra that you feel is currently balanced and one chakra that's not feeling balanced? If we need to take a moment, we can just have some sips of water. I'm going to drink a bit of tea. I want to see what you guys say about your chakras. Okay, well, I'll let you guys type. I'm going to keep moving forward. So some common signs of imbalance. When we are imbalanced, we feel it in the body. Awesome, thank you very much for applying, Christina. Throat balance, imbalance, solar plexus. Awesome, and it's great that you're bringing awareness to it. That is fabulous. Awareness is often where we have to start. We can't get balanced if we don't know what's out of balance and what's balanced. So being that your throat chakra is balanced, I would use today to try and do some affirmation work around your solar plexus, which could be some beautiful affirmations like, I am confident, I am loved, I know my worth, I know my value. That's a big one coming up, I feel like. So yeah, use that throat chakra. If one chakra is balanced, use some of that energy. Reiki is something we can do ourselves at home. We can really help our own bodies try to get back into alignment. So yeah, do some affirmation work today if you can. So some common signs of imbalance: the crown chakra, migraines, and trouble sleeping. When our energy is out of balance, we will really start to feel physical symptoms. Things will start to happen in our bodies and we'll go, where the heck did this come from? I'm not sick. I have had a good day at work. Why can't I sleep? And we get really frustrated with ourselves very quickly because we start wanting to go to a doctor thinking something's wrong, but we don't know where it came from. In our third eye chakra, no dreams. We can start having tension headaches. We can really feel wary of others, or this lack of trust all of a sudden. We don't know. Again, a lot of times it comes with a lot of confusion in our body and our mind, I should say. Our body knows exactly what's happening. Our mind has to catch up. Throat is often sore throat, frequent throat and ear infections. if you suffered from frequent throat and ear infections as a child as well, look back on some of these things that you suffered from as a kid. Try and connect them with the chakras. Were you feeling like you couldn't voice your opinions when you were a kid? That was me. Common signs of imbalance. Again, the heart chakra is chest tightness, heaviness, and shoulder aches. With all of these, I will say, I'm not a medical doctor. I have gone to the hospital myself before for chest tightness, as you should, just in case it's a heart attack or something wrong with your heart. For sure, go get that checked out. But if you're anything like me and you've gone to the hospital a few times for panic attacks because you thought you were having a heart attack because they feel so similar, and the doctors say, you're totally fine, go home, it can be really discouraging. It's really hard to not know where this is coming from, what to do about it. We want to fix ourselves. And so our chest, like I said, is all about grief. Grief, and our shoulder muscles are all about carrying the burdens of others. So if you have a tense neck and shoulder muscles, you kind of always got to stretch your shoulders and rub your neck side to side, and it's just uncomfortable. Look at how you're carrying everyone else's emotions in your life. Maybe you can start to alleviate some of that responsibility for others' emotions, and you'll start to notice the body starts changing as well. The solar plexus is all about digestive issues. So like liver or abdominal organ problems, IBS, any sort of lack of digestion, nausea. Your sacral is all about, PMS, PMDD, reproductive problems or blocks, especially, sexual blocks, whether we have a low libido or a super way overactive libido. Urinary tract infections are also common down here. And the root chakra, back pain, leg pain, and joint issues, especially in our hips and our knees. Our hips are the first point in our body of moving forward. So when we have hip pain, the root chakra is trying to speak up. We're trying to look at what area of our life we're having trouble moving forward in. And our knees are the center for our ego. So if you're having a lot of knee pain, this can be the ego trying to communicate, saying, I don't like change. I don't like what we're doing. Please stop. So what happens when I do a Reiki session? I always love answering this question for people because Reiki is kind of an abstract concept. It's energy healing. What does that mean? So what do I feel and where do I start? When you come for a Reiki session or when we do one in distance, my body is one. I know many different practitioners that feel different things, but I am one of the practitioners that feels everything in my own body. So I feel your emotions. I feel sensations in my own body. So if you have hip pain, I will feel hip pain. And one area always starts to stand out first, but two areas can be connected. Like I've mentioned a few times, especially with the heart chakra. If we have a lot of migraine headaches happening, a lot of tension in the neck and shoulders, but otherwise you're doing pretty good. We have a lot of overactivity in those higher chakras. So we have to look at the heart chakra as well, because we have to let the energy flow. So we have to look at all of the chakras to see what's connected, what two are trying to speak, and typically the body will start to form really clear messages through all of these sensations that I feel. So then using symbols and energy, and I start channeling your divine, channeling just all that universal energy that we have access to add or remove these energies to bring us back to balance. So how do I know when an area is balanced? Pretty simply put, I stop feeling it. The sensations in my body stop, and another area of my body will start to speak up and say, hey, now their knee is hurting on this side. What's going on? Or now their breathing's changed. What's going on? And if you fall asleep during a session, perfect. I know we are hitting on a lot of stuff if you fall asleep during a session. So some people I know feel fairly, feel rude, or you wouldn't go to a doctor's office and fall asleep. So sometimes that can feel a little weird. But if you fall asleep during a Reiki session, that's what your body needed. And that's really exciting to me. So I know we're on the right track. And then I just keep following the sensations in my body while you sleep, just to see what other areas need some love and attention. And a Reiki session is done when? This is very specific to me. I'm not sure about other practitioners, but I clearly see a white vertical line extending from your crown chakra all the way down your spine right to your feet. And that's how I know we're done. It's almost like holding a meter stick or a really long ruler, like right against your spine, and it's just glowing white. And it's just everything is perfectly balanced. It's like all the planets lining up, you know, in some of those cool photos online. That's how we know when we're done. So a little bit about what I feel during my own Reiki healings. I'm just going to take a sip of some tea. When I go for Reiki sessions, I have very intense experiences and I love them. It is completely out of this world. I will get very clear, very vivid visions, angels, archangels, dragons, unicorns, all kinds of things. My third eye becomes very active. My divine just, connects an extension cord right to the top of my head and really starts to give me a lot of information. I have increased emotional awareness, increased physical awareness. I really start to feel into all of the things that I might have missed throughout the week as the subtle signs and signals from my divine about what was getting out of balance, what needs my attention. I get some very, very clear downloads about what I need to do in life and with my life. There's a lot of clarity that comes. It's a very out of this world experience, and it's super special to me, which is part of the reason why I wanted to be here today. How can you feel this too? Reiki can be so much deeper when a client knows that using intention and connection can take us to a whole new level. And I'll explain what I mean by these, and we'll talk about some practices. When you come to a Reiki session with an intention for your day, with an intention for your life, and already connected in with your divine, you've been doing some prayer, you've been doing some journaling, I am simply a channel for your energy. So whatever energy you bring to a session, we get to amplify it. Now, I don't want to say that like with negative emotions and things, then obviously we can dig deeper into the body, we can see what's going on, we can help you remove those negative energies, rebalance. But if you're coming from a very balanced place already, you have clear intentions and connections, we can take this to a whole nother level. It's so much fun. So like I said, Reiki is entirely up to you in this sense. Your divine is channeling through your healer. I am simply here to act as the messenger for your divine. So if you guys have already been talking, I am just here to really solidify this connection and give you the best experience that you guys have already been talking about. You can call in whatever experience you desire and then release the expectations and let God take over. Let your divine do the work, because they are already channeling in me up to 24 hours ahead of your appointment. Some clients I feel a full day ahead of time. Some I start to feel an hour ahead of time. And I'm like, why do I suddenly have a headache? I haven't had a headache in 3 weeks. And then the next day we talk about how you've had a headache for the last 24 hours. And I go, oh, that's what that was. It hits me every time. I don't know why I'm surprised. So your divine is already raring to go when you even come to a Reiki session. So this is how I help. I act as a channel. I clearly communicate and receive messages from your divine. Being that I do this every day, I'm more practiced at it, and it can just be easy for me to receive. And my ego is not present during the sessions because it's your divine talking to you. So sometimes even when I pray for myself or pull cards for myself, pull angel cards for myself, it can be difficult to get a clear reading because my mind is spinning. I'm overactively going, what did that mean? Did this mean what I think it means? And I start to get in my own way. So I help you interpret your body's signals as well. If you're not super connected with your divine yet, that's totally fine. We're going to have some practices in the next couple slides to help you through that. But even just to help you interpret your body's signals, if we become body aware, we bring so much awareness and intention to the universe when we start waking up to our own body, that you will become more and more aware of everything in your life, mind, body, and spirit, the more that you connect in with your body and really start to receive and interpret the messages. So your divine wants your highest good. sometimes when we're coming at things from a spiritual perspective, from an energetic perspective, it can be a little intimidating or a little scary at first. It's a little outside of the box for us if we've only known Western medicine, if we've only known that there is a problem and I need to be fixed. Your divine wants your highest good. Reiki is entirely safe for babies. Reiki is entirely safe for pregnant moms. Reiki is entirely safe for animals. There is consent involved. So if you are consenting, or if the energy says, yes, please come in and help me with this, we are supporting each other, and your divine is entirely here to support you, to offer a higher perspective. Your divine is your ideal cheerleader. They are there coaching you from the sidelines. Sometimes we just tune them out and forget to listen. And your divine is your true parent. I love this. And this concept comes from the Al-Anon family groups, as well as Reiki. But the divine is such a parent. They just want what's best for you, but not maybe for some of us who grew up in very dysfunctional homes. I know that I did. Trusting can be very hard. Looking at our emotions and becoming vulnerable can be very hard. So sometimes Reiki sessions do involve tears. They do involve releases. And your divine is completely by your side. They act through me to create a safe and supportive environment where you're allowed to speak what's on your mind. We didn't maybe have that opportunity growing up. Maybe we didn't get to tell our parents things. And Reiki and energy healings, connecting with your divine, they are your parent. They are your true parent, the ones who want what's best for you and love you unconditionally. Again, simply put, your divine loves you deeply. It is that true parental love for a child. They are so in love with you. And that's why I love Reiki. I love getting to be the channel for something so pure and simple as love. It just brightens my day. It really brings a lot to my day when I get to do sessions. So how do we practice intention and connection to get you some really deep healing, to get you into this beautiful space of connection? Prayer, practice, patience, and self-love. Some of these might sound fairly simple, so we're going to go through them, and I want to just give you some examples and some practices for these. Prayer. Prayer is as simple as asking your divine for help. The thing about the divine is they can't step in on our behalf without our consent. We have free will still, and we have to ask for help. So this can be as simple. It doesn't have to be, I grew up in a church, and I remember having big flourishy prayers and, always saying, Dear Lord and Amen, having kind of a specific format. And I feel like sometimes I get way too rigid with how I pray. This can be as simple as saying, hey, divine God, I don't know what the hell is happening today. I'm really lost. And I just need somebody's help. Like, I need some help. I need some support. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Can you please bring some clarity to my life, some connection? I'm feeling very alone. I don't know what's happening. I need you to help. That can be as simple as prayer needs to be. The divine loves you just the way you are. You don't have to show up in any specific way or, set your altar perfect with your crystals and your 6 candles and a layout and do it under the night of a full moon. If you love doing that, I know I do, but you don't have to. It can be extra special, but you don't have to. I've broken down some days just to pray, because there are days where I start to want to control everything and I can't. So prayer really helps. Simply speaking it out loud, journal, focus your thoughts on it. Just make that intention to connect with your divine. Through a simple prayer. It could be 2 sentences just to say, hey, I'm new to this. I don't really know what to do yet. Thanks for listening. Bye. It can be that simple. Practice. Time creates patterns. Make yourself reminders and try again. Like I said, sometimes we can get in our own head about this, that we have to do it a certain way. There is no right or wrong way to pray. There is no right or wrong way to meditate. There is no right or wrong way to connect. And time will create these patterns. So reminding yourself to pray, reminding yourself to ask for help when you're stressed. For some of us, we're really used to having a routine of journaling or of meditating. For some of us, we're not quite there yet, and that's totally fine. Setting yourself reminders. There are lots of fantastic apps you can download nowadays too, to help have an alarm on your phone with a specific reminder. There are affirmation apps, if that's how you want to choose to start prayer, is with the help of technology, totally fine, because time creates patterns. And the more that we practice this, the deeper our intention and connection becomes. The third one is patience. I wanted to put this in here because, again, when we're creating patterns, our ego tends to act up. Our ego and there's a part of all of us as humans that doesn't want what's best for us. We want the status quo. We don't want to change. We don't want what's best for us. And for some people, that can be a really crazy foreign concept, but anybody who grew up in a dysfunctional home, we're not used to safety. We're not used to patterns and stability. We're used to a lot of chaos, and that sometimes becomes our comfort zone. So prayer, asking for help, becoming vulnerable, listening to our body, these can be really life-shifting practices. For some people, this might be fairly easy. Some people, it might be fairly hard. I know for myself, to listen to my body, it was something I had shut off for so many years after my surgeries at 13. I had a lot of years that I didn't listen to my body. I didn't want to. It was a scary place. So have patience with yourself. Allow yourself grace. If you miss a day, if you miss a prayer, you don't immediately have to start condemning yourself. You're divine, like I said, will love you however you show up, whenever you show up. So be gentle with yourself. This is a really, really big thing. I will repeat it lots in our sessions, in our, if you are part of the program with me, if you follow my Facebook and Instagram, being gentle with yourself is something we just don't practice. We would never speak to somebody else the way we speak to ourselves at times. So learning to be gentle. Come at things with a curiosity. And in those times where you are really struggling, with, say, it can be things like paying rent or bills right now during COVID times, if you're having a lot of emotion, if you have, a sick loved one, and you're feeling so afraid of how things are going to turn out, ask the divine for faith. It's okay to ask for that. I do it a lot too. It's those days where we think, I want to step in right now and take the reins and try and control things. Well, then we start stressing our body out. We start becoming disconnected. We start experiencing more symptoms again. Sometimes we have to let the divine just do its thing. Because whenever I ask for intentions or manifesting things, I say this or something better. So sometimes a missed opportunity is not a missed opportunity. It's just the divine asking you to have faith and some patience, because they know what's best. They see things from a higher perspective, and they're there to offer you love. And the fourth one, because the divine offers you so much love, we have to offer ourselves so much self-love. I love this saying, don't should yourself. Should is an incredibly judgmental word, which I've only learned about in the last couple of years too. It is a very negative word. It's a very toxic word. When we say should in basically any sentence, stop immediately and ask yourself why you're judging yourself. Why are you judging yourself so harshly? Now, could we say, I should do the dishes? We probably should. We probably can get them done at some point, or I can set time aside, but maybe today I'm really having a rough day and I don't want to do the dishes. Perfect. That's a perfectly acceptable answer too. Do the dishes tomorrow. But when we should ourselves and try to guilt ourselves and shame ourselves, I should do this. I should eat better. I should, meditate more. I should pray more. That's just digging us deeper. Would you ever say that to a small child? You should do this. You should do that. I almost picture myself like pointing a finger at them, scowl on my face, being like, you should. It just comes with that kind of an icky energy. So again, be gentle with yourself. Trust yourself. Learning to trust ourselves is a really big step. And again, all of this helps deepen our intention and our connection, because when we love and trust and cherish ourselves, our divine amplifies that. And then you come to a Reiki session with me and I amplify that. So then you're getting 3 times all of the self-love and practice and patience and prayer and gentleness and nurturing. Give yourself unconditional love. I call this radical unconditional love because we don't often do it. So it becomes kind of this radical, far out concept to really just say, I love you. And something that I was taught was, when I'm really having a bad day, putting both hands on my heart and just tell yourself, I see that you are struggling. I see that you are struggling. I love you. I am here. We don't have to fix anything yet, but just know that I see you struggling. I see myself really having a bad day. That brings so much compassion. We stop shoulding ourselves. Like, I shouldn't be feeling emotional. It's a new way of giving ourselves this deep unconditional love. And again, then when you come to a Reiki session, you've been practicing these things, your divine amplifies that, and it's amazing. So a little recap, what we have covered today. What is Reiki? We've talked about some history, the chakra system and common imbalances, what Reiki feels like, and how you can experience deeper healing. So if you want some more practice about this, I will be posting a free guided meditation just for you. It can be found on my homepage, which is intuitionawakeningbyjanine.com. It's about halfway down the page, and I have a link to all of my meditation tracks that are available for download. I have a self-hypnosis practice, some sleep practices, and this one will be called, what am I going to call this one? I'll put free in the title so you know which one to click on. It'll be at the top of the list. So that will be up by tomorrow morning. So you can practice this. Spend, I'm thinking it'll be about half an hour long. And spend some time with yourself. We're going to go through each of the steps, get you some practice. So maybe you joined today because you also live with anxiety or depression or experience a lot of worry. You wish you could relax and enjoy life more often. You're curious about healing and personal growth. Maybe you followed my social media accounts and love my content, which is awesome. Maybe you're a client of mine. If you are, hello, I see you. Or maybe you just wanted to come and hang out. I'm totally cool with that too. It's a great Sunday morning just to hang out with you guys. Do you want more support in your life? Because I sure as heck know that I did. And so I just wanted to give you guys some information today as well about what I offer. And as part of this webinar, for those who attended or watch the replay later, I'm offering 3 free insight calls to the first 3 people who sign up. This is going to be an hour of Reiki and personal coaching. So again, we're going to use what we practiced today. We're going to set some intentions. We're going to pick some areas in your life that maybe need some extra support right now, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here for you and your healing journey. So 3 free calls. Message me if you would like to grab one, and I'm booking those into next week. So please message me. They're first come, first serve. And if you want even more support, if you want to try the free calls, great, let's chat some more. And I have a new program called Realign. This is, I'm so excited about it, because this is something I would have loved 5 years ago. And this is why I've created it. Reiki really has changed my life. And I know if you're here on this call that you're taking forward steps. You are taking steps for healing. And I am so proud of you and I congratulate you. Knowing all of what we know today now, knowing how far you're already on your healing journey, I just want you to know that we can do even deeper healing together. Sometimes it can feel like we're alone on a healing path, that we're the only one who gets it, that we're the only one who's there for us. And I just want you to know that there are supports available. I have supports available. I have helped clients open up their hearts and chakras again. I have done this myself. Reiki brings calm and divine presence back to your life. And a few things I want you to know: it's never too late to try something new. Healing is never out of reach. You are worthy of support. This is such a big one. And you can heal. I spent 10 years after my surgeries not knowing how to live, not knowing why I had anxieties, not knowing what was wrong with me. And the answer was nothing was wrong with me. I needed more support. I needed more love. I needed more encouragement in my life and someone to be my cheerleader too. So what is all included in my Realign program? This is a 3-month transformative experience. We do weekly Reiki healing, which is going to be intense and awesome. I would love to have Reiki healing weekly for even myself. I do it on myself, but it's intense when we do it that often. Personal coaching, Voxer or WhatsApp messaging for the tough days. And what this means is it's 7 days a week access to support, encouragement, and guidance. I know what it's like to wait between appointments with your doctor, with your therapist, with your specialists. You can wait months. I know what it's like to be charged an arm and a leg as well for just needing more support. So that's why I wanted to include it all in this package. You get me 7 days a week. 7 days a week, we can message. That's what Voxer is for those who aren't familiar. It's Voxer and WhatsApp. We can send voice notes, we can send text messages, and I can reply to you. So on those tough days when you feel, I don't know who to talk to or turn to, I'm literally waiting by my phone for you for 3 months because I know how important and healing that can be just to have someone in our corner, just for a period of time, because we can get you to that stage where you can handle life on your own, building your own supports, building your own encouragement, building up all that beautiful Reiki energy over 12 weeks. You can be in a place at the end of this program where you feel supported and loved and capable of healing all on your own, which is amazing. So we also do some ceremonies to start and end your journey. If you're here in the city with me, these will be in person, which I'm excited about. If not, I'm going to be sending out packages wherever in the world you live. This is part of the program too, so that we can have kind of a guided ceremony to start and end your journey. Also going to be offering angel card readings and a lot more. This is something that I am truly passionate about. I'm so excited that this is kind of my new keystone program. And if you want more information, please feel free to reach out. Message me. Let's chat some more about it. Book one of those free calls that I have, 3 spots open. So please feel free to message. I will only have 1 spot available for July to September. This is not a program that I'll be taking on 50 people at a time because no, you deserve my attention and support fully. And I want to make sure that I am able to offer you everything that I can during that time. So there's only 1 spot for the 3-month program, so feel free to keep me posted. Let's schedule a call. If you go to my website, there is a free call link. You can use the scheduling app, pick a time, let's chat. So thank you for joining me today. My one takeaway for you today, if I had to kind of narrow it down, healing is always possible. You can achieve deep transformative healing no matter where you are in your life. You are worthy. Listen to your body, practice intention and connection, and never be afraid to seek out support. You are so worthy of everything that comes to you. Thank you so much, everybody, for sticking with me if you're still on the call or watching the replay. It is question and answer time. I'm going to leave this meeting open for about another 5 minutes. And I will open up my chat now and just see if you have any questions for me. Maybe questions about anything, about your chakras, there's 5 planets in retrograde right now. So if you want some little Reiki healing right now, let me know. I can send you some love. Yeah. I'd also really love to hear how you enjoyed the webinar today. Let me know if you'd like a copy of the replay. Like I said, that free meditation will be available tomorrow morning by the latest. I'll get it uploaded today. So yeah, I will be here for a couple more minutes if you guys have any questions. Who is all on the call today? Hi, Cheryl. I'm so excited you're here. Can't wait to see you sometime. Christina, I'm happy you were able to attend. Oh, my friend from overseas, hello. Glad you were able to make it too. I hope your little one's giving you some space to actually watch this. And Dania, hello. Lovely to hear from you again. Awesome. Lots of great information, especially how to practice and connection. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Christina. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this webinar for a little while now, just to try and give people more of an idea of what can be achieved with Reiki, what we can do. And I find sometimes that, especially in the Western world, because we're not super spiritual, this is all coming to us from, across the sea. Especially in Canada, we're a very young country. We don't have a lot of our own cultural practices. And now I say this from myself as someone who is an immigrant, originally from Canada through my generations. I was born in Canada, but of course the First Nations people of Canada have some very deep traditions. But overall, we're still a very young country. I traveled to India last year, and that is a country that has just, you can feel the depth of their practice, of their roots, of it's so ingrained in their life. And in Western society, we're not there yet. We're fairly young. Even in, I guess the US is a fairly young country as well. And sometimes we forget the power of this stuff because science hasn't backed it up yet, or the doctor hasn't recommended it. I don't know about you guys, but I grew up in a family where my grandma, if the doctor didn't say it, it didn't matter. It didn't matter what advice was given. If the doctor didn't agree with it, she wouldn't do it. And that's how they've lived their life, was the expert. And I don't mean to discredit medical professionals at all. They've saved my life many times as well and helped me along my journey. But this can all be a very deep perspective shift, and really letting ourselves sink into the realization and this understanding that spirituality can go deep. We are connected to a vast and infinite universe. I believe in an infinite number of dimensions, dragons, unicorns, all of that stuff. It's, I feel it, I see it, I connect with angels, and sometimes we get very stuck on the earthly plane. We forget about all that amazing potential that we can tap into up in the heavens. And check the chat. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, someone said I often need help to remember self-love and patience. It is. It's something, that's why prayer and practice, those are something that we can do fairly every day, but self-love and patience become a lot harder. Self-love especially is one that is truly a transforming experience. It's truly a shift when we can stop condemning ourselves and our every action to loving ourselves, engaging with ourselves, becoming our own inner parent, which opens up the whole realm of inner child work and reparenting. I should make a webinar about that sometime too. It's another topic I'm very passionate about, something I'm doing for myself. Yeah, actually, do you guys have anything that you'd like to see a webinar on next? Any topics that you're curious about that you'd like to know more about? Drop those in the chats too. My tea is cold, but it still tastes delicious. It's chamomile leaves and lavender and honey. So good. I needed that this morning. Staying curious will really help to ask, I wonder, question, and why, instead of shooting myself. Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. We'll go back to my video. Yeah, the idea of shooting ourselves, whew, that's a big one. And not shooting ourselves. Curiosity is such a gentle, almost childlike energy. And when we become curious about something, just It's not even so much, this is something that I get stuck with as well, is saying, oh, I wonder why. There's still, we got to be careful with even that. A curious statement goes, I feel my heart beating today. That's information. And leaving it at that. Just curiosity, because I'm also a digger. I will dig and dig and dig till the cows come home about why. Because there's something in my mind that says it needs to be fixed. I need to stop what I'm doing. So to stop what I'm doing, I have to know why. And then it's a judgment cycle. So just noticing things with curiosity and saying, I notice I am really tense today. Information. Okay. We start to become observers of our body versus the judge and jury of our body. And that's, that one can take practice. So be very gentle with yourself. I know this is something I still practice, is this curiosity, but it makes a difference when we can curiously ask something. It's like, versus, I have to do this. I should do this. Why am I not doing this? I need to fix this. There's a big energy difference there. So awesome, everybody. Well, I notice it is now 12 p.m. So we are at the hour mark. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your comments and questions. Feel free, as always, reach out. If anything was triggered today, or you need to talk through something, or you're really saying, oh, hey, I noticed my throat chakra is really sore lately. Maybe is that what it is? Feel free, message me. I am always open for conversations. I love getting to meet you guys and connect, especially during COVID, because we're all by ourselves at home. So sending you lots and lots of love. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day or weekend, wherever you are. Take care.